Hey Tarot Tribe, it's Dustin, and I thought today we could hang out and go through a Game of Thrones tarot. I am a huge fan of Game of Thrones, both the book series and the HBO television show, and so I got this gift from a family member over the holidays, and I just freaking love it. It is so cool to see how they tied the show, the characters, and the tarot together in a really meaningful way. This was so well thought out. You can really tell that the people who made this didn't make it as just another knockoff branded, thing that they can make money on, but they actually took the time to really understand the tarot and make connections with the characters in the show that made sense and maintained the meaning of the deck in a classic tarot sense, especially with the Smith-White system. So if you are a fan of Game of Thrones, I would highly recommend you pick this up. It is super cool. It does come with a guidebook, but the best guidebook there is the book itself. If you haven't read the novels, I highly recommend them. And if you haven't watched the shows are one of the very few times I can honestly say that I enjoy the shows more than I enjoy the book. Blasphemy, I know, but I freaking love them. So yeah, let's talk about the deck. The deck comes in a really nice sturdy box. On the back, it just shows some examples of the cards, gives a little description about, exploring the Game of Thrones through tarot. This is published by Chronicle Books, so they're not someone I'm familiar with publishing tarot decks, so I'm going to have to check them out a little bit more. And then it has more of the legal sort of copyright stuff on the side there. The sides are pretty plain. Wow. Pretty plain, and then the cover has this really nice gilding on it, which is really cool. Inside, it lifts out open just like this. You'll find the deck and the guidebook. The guidebook is this little hard-covered book. It's about the same size as a normal tarot deck, which is pretty cool. And inside the book, you'll find a really good description of each card, where they took the imagery from the show, and then both upright and reversed divinatory meanings, which is really cool. It even includes some Game of Thrones themed tarot spreads, which is super cool, right? Like the Old Gods of the North spread and the Red Keep spread. And let's see, what else do we have in here? Oh yes, the Faith of the Seven spread, right? So lots of really cool I drink and I know things spread. Spread of the Maesters. So yeah, it's really well thought out, really cool little guidebook. The deck itself is a standard tarot size, and it's printed on oops, sorry, I bumped the camera there. It's printed on a really nice linen cardstock. So this is, like I said, it's a normal tarot size. So this is a Morgan Greer card, and it's exactly the same size. The backs are reversible, so if you read reversals, you can flip it whichever way and not know if you have a reversal or not, which is great. It has this sort of Iron Throne sort of depiction on the back. And then the cards themselves are in a little bit of an illustrated style, and you can see, like, even in the video, it's really picking up that linen texture, which is really nice. The cardstock is, it's probably about the same thickness as a standard US Games deck, but it's really well printed. So we have Tyrion Lannister here as the Fool, our Magician with Littlefinger. The Priestess is the Red Woman, which is great. And of course, our Empress would have to be Daenerys Targaryen. And then Jon Snow is the Emperor, of course. The Hierophant. The Lovers. So if you know anything about the story and about the show, they've really made really good connections to all of the cards, which is super cool. The Chariot. Brienne here, strength is just amazing. Makes so much sense. And of course, Bran is the hermit, the one-eyed crow. Our Wheel of Fortune representing the great four houses of the show. So the Targaryens, the Lannisters, the Baratheons, and the Starks, which is great. Justice. Good old Ned Stark. The Flayed Man for the Hanged Man. Death, of course, right? This is just perfect. Temperance. The Devil card. Perfect character for that, right? So you can really see that, you know, they put a lot of thought into who they're representing and sort of the ties between the cards and the meanings of the cards, as well as the characters that they're using to depict them, so which is really great. The Tower here, which we all know from the first few episodes or the first few chapters of the book, is where sort of the whole ball gets rolling, right? Bran climbs it, falls from it, is paralyzed, and sort of the revelation of some sort of nasty things going on in the background comes to the forefront. So Star, it's a beautiful star card. The Moon, which is the Moon Door, very fitting. And the Sun, which I love. This is sort of the chandelier that is in the Maester's Academy, and it was also in the opening of the show, so very fitting. Judgment, of course, would be the White Walker Ice King. And the world, of course, is a map of Westeros. Again, with the great houses, Stark, Targaryen, Lannister, and Baratheon represented. Then we get into the suits. So we have, instead of wands, we have spears. So Ace of Spears, 2 of Spears, 3 and 4. And so you can see they do follow a more traditional RWS system, which is great. 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10. And then we have our page, our knight, our queen, and our king. Excuse me. And we have our cups. So Ace of Cups, 2 of Cups, and then the card here says Father, Smith, Warrior, Mother, Maiden, Crone, Stranger, I am. It's something from the show that I can't remember. I am in here. Oh, this is the marriage vows that they use in this show, which is great. 3 of Cups. 4 of Cups. When Littlefinger goes to visit her. 5 of Cups. 6. 7 of Cups. 8. And 9. 10. And our page. Knight. Queen. King. Jon Snow being one of the most emotional male characters on the show, for sure. Very deep. So our Ace of Swords. Sword of the Wall. 2 of Swords. This is the most perfect 2 of Swords. When I saw that this was the deck, I always imagined this sort of scene when you know, she is blinded and going through her training to become no one, to be kind of the representation of this. So I was super excited when I saw this card. 3, very sort of standard depiction, but we have the different swords represented, which is cool. And it's the Burning Heart, which is a symbol from the show. 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, and 9. 10 of Swords. This is just perfect. Without giving too much about the show away, this scene is probably one of the most gut-wrenching scenes in the entire show. It's up there. Page, Knight, Queen, very perfect Queen, Cersei Lannister, and King, the Night King. And we go on to our coins. So our Ace of Coins, our 2 of Coins, which is a direct nod to Tarot de Marseille. And this here is really what told me these guys and gals that put this deck together really, really knew the tarot and knew the show and took it very seriously and wanted to really produce a deck that not only was true and faithful to the tarot, but was true and faithful to the show as well. And this really tells me that they did that, right? Because it has the saying of the Lannisters: a Lannister always pays his debts, and you know the meaning of the 2 of Coins being balancing and making choices between, you know, physical material things is very much what the Lannisters do constantly throughout the show. So our 3 of Coins and our 4, 5 of Coins, which is perfect, 6, 7 of Coins, 8, 9 of Coins, and 10. And we have our Page, of course, which is Tyrion, very fitting. Our Knight, which is Brienne again. Our Queen, perfect. And our King. So all really well thought out, really sort of perfectly, you know, like executed cards. It's a wonderful deck. I've yet to do a reading with it, so I can't tell you how it reads, but I absolutely adore this deck. It's a great deck. It's probably not something I'd use with clients unless I knew that they were massive Game of Thrones fans, but I'm so happy to have this and have it in my collection. Let me know what you think about the deck in the comments below. Are you massive Game of Thrones fans? I'd love to know. And, you know, as always, remember, everyone's fighting a battle that you know nothing about. So be kind, always. Bye, guys.